Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. First, Mr. Werfel, I must tell you that I am grateful for your willingness to do this because I guess some people would say the smart thing to do would be to just run away. And so, seriously, exceedingly grateful for your willingness to now jump in under very difficult circumstances.
Thank you.
Mr. Quigley mentioned, that he's not usually in shock and awe of corruption, I believe is what he said, and that this one may do that. Mismanagement or incompetence or missteps or corruption are frankly always destructive, and unacceptable. I will tell you, and maybe this is just because I represent a constituency, a very diverse constituency that come from countries where the government targets people for their beliefs. I think this is worse. As dangerous, as unacceptable as those that I just mentioned are, and they are, when government targets individuals for their beliefs, this is now an affront on democracy, on our freedoms. And I just wanted to see if you thought that I was exaggerating in my understanding of how dangerous, how unacceptable this issue can be.
I agree with you. It's completely inexcusable, and it's inherently damaging. In particular, now that I've been at the IRS for a few days, I recognize that this important agency is founded on a principle of operating impartially, and we failed in that most basic core principle here. And it's devastating to us as an agency and to the people in that agency. They are very, very upset and appalled by this as well. I mean, that's a story I don't think that has been told, is that the people in the IRS, many of which, and most of which I would articulate are hardworking, are appalled. The one point I would raise to you, and this is frustrating for everyone involved, is that more analysis and investigation is going to be needed to understand what motivated, if anything, this behavior. What were the circumstances surrounding it? And we have to get to the bottom of that. And then I think we can fully better understand the problem. But on its face, I agree, it's completely inexcusable, and it is a violation of that fundamental tenet of the IRS, which the people take so seriously, and it's very upsetting.
Well, and I would just, not putting words in your mouth, but I would say not only the IRS, but frankly, it's basically it's the basis of our country, that you should not fear the government because of your beliefs. So,
I totally agree with you.
And again, so I thank you for your willingness to do this. Now, some people are going to talk about funding, and I think that's a bit of a joke. You already mentioned that you don't think that more money is now the way to do it. I think whether it's the 220 conferences for employees between 2010 and 2012 would state that funding doesn't seem to be a problem, or the bonuses that the chairman mentioned doesn't seem that funding is an issue. I think people are going to also talk about legislation and all sorts of different excuses. Now, you now have a choice to make, and I'm optimistic that you're going to, because you've agreed to take this on, that you're going to make the right choice. But the choices are very simple. You can either try to change the story and cover this up and try to give it a good spin, or you can make sure that you get to the bottom of it, that people are held accountable, that proposals are made to make sure that in the future, this is more difficult to do, and I know that's already starting, and that the American people have a clear understanding when this is said and done as to who did and ordered what and for what reason. And I just wanted to obviously, I trust that you're going to do the right thing, but the right thing means absolute transparency. Would you agree with that?
Yes. The two reactions, if I could. One is, as I've gotten to the IRS and started to learn, and I came in with this notion, is that we have to be completely open in everything we do. I quickly got a briefing on Section 6103 and realized that there are certain, we're getting these congressional requests in. I want to push information out as quickly and as expediently as possible to you so we can get to the bottom of this. But then I'm learning that before we send that information up, we have to review it for these 6103 to protect taxpayer information. So my commitment on transparency is absolute within the legal abilities I have. And then if I could, I need to make a clarification on the budget. The point that I was making, and we haven't gotten to that yet, and if we don't get to it, that's fine. The President's budget is out there. I'm prepared to defend the increases that we're asking for because I think they have important return on investment benefits to the taxpayer. With respect to this exempt organizations unit, the point I was making was it would be a mistake for me to come in and ask for more money as the solution. The right answer is for us to figure out what the right processes are and then figure out what the budget's necessary to sustain that. It could be the same, it could be less, it could be more. But the chairman started this hearing by saying, how can we give another dime? And my answer is, let's explore together what's going on in this process and figure out what the right funding is. But I can't come in here and say we need more money for that aspect of IRS operations without working with you on the review. And that's what I meant.
My time is up, Mr. Chairman.